Such a cheesy ass motherfucker. Top of the morning. How you all doing, guys? Is my audio actually working? Have I switched it on today? Nope. Once again I open. Oh no. Is my microphone working? Can I tell? Can I tell? Hopefully you can hear me. But top of the morning, you beautiful people. You beautiful, awesome, dank folk. Peasant folk. Humble folk. Rooted folk. Ethan Ox 2997. Fail. Semi-chroma. Wow. Who put this song into the mix? This is sweet. Esther Winnie. Brandon. Hey, Cage or 14. Don't tell me I've not changed it again. Starting new expansion. We're starting a new expansion. 5 mini Pez. Does the title not change again? The thumbnail. I didn't change the thumbnail. Un momentos, please. What's good on this brand new fresh day on this very first login sign on in? How you doing, guys? Oh, I mean, it's 8 o'clock in the morning. What do you expect? But hello, guys. We're back, and I am excited as hell. I woke up, and the first thing that popped into my mind, I kind of woke up. I'll try to reenact it. Heavens, what? That was my morning. Let's do it. But as always, guys, before we start, if there's any news for the day, if there's anything fresh on the gaming scene or Final Fantasy related, actually, let's have a little. Ooh. Alright. Stream health is orange. That's never good. Let's have a quick butchers at the news. See what's going down. Anything jumping out. 2019, I'm starting FF11. Really wish that they did FF11 as a main line in which they condensed it into a story. That'd be so sick. Final Fantasy Fried Chicken on sale. It's groundbreaking news. I'm so glad to see the Final Fantasy is at its peak right now. This is definitely another golden era, Rebecca. I want fried chicken now. The music is a bit loud. I can hear that. I'm actually liking it. It's pretty sick. Alright, Amy Baxter threw in a suggestion. What was it? Legend of Mana opening. You're going to get me copyrighted, Katie. Alice. I trust in you. Oh. Right, I'm interested. But as always, let's see what we're going to start our day on. This will be a quote. This will be a message that will follow all of us peasants through for a day. We will live by this. Everything will centre around the message of accepting what is. Don't seek for everything to happen as you wish it would, but rather wish that everything happens as it actually will. Then your life will flow well. It is easy to praise Providence for anything that may happen if you have two qualities: a complete view of what has actually happened in each instance and a sense of gratitude for it. Without gratitude, what is the point of seeing? And without seeing, what is the objective of gratitude? Or what is the object of gratitude? Deep! Carry that forth with you guys. Right, let me sign into FF14. Listen, the game is unavailable for play during... No! Not today! Not on new expansion day! Not on new expansion... Why? What is this fate? What is this fate? Ah, the servers are down. The servers. That's heartbreaking. That is crushing. The one day I don't fully sign into my 14 games, I'm like, let's have a nice bit of music today to really go into the excitement and gumph of Heaven's Ward. These are sad, sad times. We tried. Oh well. I suppose the best thing I might as well do is go off and I'll just go off and continue editing my video, which is actually pretty good so far, I think. In fact, you guys want to see it? You want a little backstage to my latest vid? It's about FF13 and 15. I'll let you guys see it. Give me some feedback if you want. If you don't give a shit about the subject. So obviously I recently just finished 13. I was like, God, so do me a video on it. Bearing in mind that this is in the editing software, so it's going to be very, very glitchy, especially in places where I've used GIFs. So it's not going to flow at its proper frame rate. But I'll let you guys have a little peeky just to apologise for waking you up. And getting you ready for stream time, even though it was a total farce. God damn it, Square Enix! God damn it. Alright. Let me get rid of me so I don't ruin the video with my hobo-ish features. Of the morning, my fellow peasants, how you all doing? So as most of you know, I just got finished, well not fully finished because I'll be coming back and I'm doing Seath Stoners and side missions, but I just got finished playing Final Fantasy 13 again for the mainline story, and I wanted to do a video to talk about what my thoughts were, what my feelings, what did a second playthrough give me, how can I hurl as subtle insults as possible at those who don't like this game. No, but I mean, the first thing that stands out, of course, is just how well this game still stands up today. I mean, it's absolutely mind-blowing that this was a late 2009 title. The visuals are freaking stunning. The colour palette is sharp, beautiful, and crazy out there. The world is rich, even if it is just on a superficial aesthetic level. Of course, there's an argument to be had for its cultural depth, a lot of its lore and history, and everything's with the people of these cities being shown in very obscure ways or condemned to data logs, which I'd say were wholly unnecessary. But then again, at what point during the Final Fantasy 13 story is there really any extra room? Like, that game is packed to the freaking gills with cutscene after cinematic, after crazy event, after feels. There wasn't really that much extra room where I feel they could have shoehorned in extra lore about the Fal'Cie and the gods, especially without it becoming very overwhelming and heavy. At least certainly in the context of how the game is presented. I feel like perhaps that's why it would have even been stronger for there to have been more downtime, hanging around cities and towns, just like we did in 10. That really was such a fantastic way of covering up the linearity and the feeling of being shoehorned all the way through the game, which again, I know on a story level, thematically, Square were saying that they were going for that was a very intentional thing, that as the game opened up, so did the players' choices, as they started to go against the fate and focus that they had been dealt. And I'm going to say, coming away from this second playthrough, that's the main thing I'm going to say that really stuck out and I appreciate all the more, was this grand, huge Fal'Cie plot and the complexities and the depth and the insanity of it all. It's crazy, and things were just unfolding that I hadn't even realised. Nuances of the plot, exactly what Cid Raines' role in, Yarg Roche, exactly why Saz was pitched in direct opposition to the situation that his son had been roped into, and why that was even all the more emotional and tense because of it. Upon replaying it, things like exactly what Fang and especially Vanille on a second playthrough is a character that when you observe in the full light of knowing who she really is, she's a hugely interesting character to re-observe, and just how the team as a whole, when you've when you've got over the first playthrough and all the annoyances and frustrations and times where you didn't know where it was going or why it was going or why these characters were acting this way, and that caused a lot of intense frustration. Even I remember certain aspects of that on my first playthrough, but going in again, knowing why that happens and knowing how this team really does go from, again I say it all the time, the most dysfunctional bunch of arseholes that has ever walked Google/Pulse, to a team that if you've made it to the end of this game and you have fully invested in their characters and the dynamics between them, you're so roped in that even when they start busting out the cheesy one-liners and the Go-Go Power Rangers stances, you're just like, yeah, fuck yeah. And I've seen this said an awful lot with people, actually. I've had 3 personal friends of mine in my inner circle and numerous fellow peasants from the outer circle, even during this playthrough, who were inspired to give it a second playthrough. And I feel like of all the Final Fantasies to date, if there is one that you didn't like on the first playthrough that you have a chance of finding some sort of appreciation, or I've just seen it happen so many times that the second playthrough makes people a bit softer, a bit warmer, a bit squishier and a bit more malleable to enjoying Final Fantasy 13, and I personally can really see why. I suppose I might just be fanboying a little bit at the end of my playthrough, but I would be remiss to not talk about the combat system. I've got to say, guys, this is by no means a shit combat system. Like, it really isn't. It just isn't at all. I mean, the pacing on it is faster than what most of our mainline Final Fantasies have ever been. There is a complexity and depth of strategy and a pretty decent items and weapons system. You know, I suppose that could be a little bit better, the upgrading of all of that. Eidolons are still wholly a trick missed. Like, you really messed up with those Square Enix making, no, the one death thing again. No, just basic points that I think 13 knew it had screwed up on and did its best in the later entries to try to fix. That's along with the linearity and some of that, which I will admit I was so spellbound on my first playthrough of FF13 that I completely didn't even focus in on the corridors or the tunnels. I was just swept away with the experience. Upon revisiting it second time, I will say that stood out to me a bit more. Some of the linearity in some zones that didn't have much happening, you know, there were just some horrible areas. Like, some of them were just jankier, horrible, dark, dingy caves. Mahabara's making me itchy. I just hate this place. I don't want to be in Mahabara any longer. I don't want to go back. You can't make me. But the combat system is something that it is what you make of it, and that's what really stood out to me in the second playthrough. Is I didn't go for just my standard team. You know, just like how I did in 13, I leveled one team, I got them super powerful, I got ahead of the level and difficulty curve, and then I just stayed kind of semi ahead of it the entire way. Not really caring about whether I was getting 5 stars or 1 star. So never really having to take a risk with sort of any of my buffing or debuffing or how I switch my paradigms. And when you play like that, you're really not feeling the mechanics of the game. You're really not feeling the pacing and the intensity, and indeed the strategy involved in when you do try to pick up the pace, try to go for those 5 stars, and stay slightly under the leveling curve. That is when this combat system really shines as such a fun. What's that? Is that 5 star? Yay! No, 4. Boo. Boo. That's why I feel like turn-based between FF10-2, which again, that's a game that on my second playthrough I really found a joy that I certainly didn't have when I first played it. I hated that game. But I wouldn't say that is common. I'd say it's so much more common in 13. But between 10-2 and 13, I really felt turn-based combat was getting somewhere. It was getting into its next evolution, its next state. And that's why when 15 came along and kind of abandoned all of those progresses and innovations and stepped forwards, I got to admit, I was a little bit disappointed. I really do think there is some sort of hybrid system that lies between the turn-based we typically know and the fast-paced of action combat that everyone seems to be crazy addicted to. And while we're on Final Fantasy 15, because, you know, it is hard for me not to compare it to 15, when they're both so fresh on my mind and they're the 2 latest kind of mainline installments that aren't an MMO, yeah, my mind is just drawing a lot of comparisons between them. And I want to talk about that briefly, because while 13 frequently rewards us, the player, with a richness of lore and plot unfolding, And you can almost get into a groove of predicting when you're gonna be given that story reward for how much of the world or the combat system you go through. Well, you switch that over to 15, where you switch plot unfolding for a simple yet beautiful expression of just immersion. Just pure immersion. One not so much based in intricate, great, falsy conspiracies and a plot so crazy that will make any blind listener's ear explode with etro gate symbols if you try to explain it. But it went for something more grounded, an honest display of companionship and brotherhood that even the most cynical of 15 players would at least agree to that. Something that we can all relate to on some level, something that we can all get some enjoyment from, something that you don't need a reasonably narrowed down taste to enjoy like you do with 13. You know, you got to be a pretty certain way minded, I feel, to actively engage with 13's story. And the tipping point of 13's story becoming overbearing falls way quicker than it does for 15. In fact, you're far more likely in 15 to start demanding and asking that things get a bit more complex and crazy and testing on your mind. You know, it feels like 13 dove way in the deep end and 15 just went for a little paddle and kind of took it very easy on the player compared to what a lot of FFs can and have been. But you know, oh! Holy shit! Seeth what? I seeth what? Yon hitherly on the horizon. Alright, screw that. So there we go. A little preview of my upcoming video. But Kaylee Wesley, I was slurping on my rose hip tea. You nearly made me freaking choke. Whoa, thank you, mate. I'm not even streaming. She's at work anyway. Oh, Kaylee, thank you so much. So anyway, guys, that's the premise of the video. I'll talk a little bit more about what I feel Final Fantasy is, which is, you know, in the center line of 13 and 15. I feel like the perfect FF, you know, should have the breadth of 15 and the depth of 13. And I'll go on in later and say that, you know, what I feel that both games did well, but didn't really sort of knuckle in, is that, you know, Final Fantasy isn't something that just happens to you like 13, like the story happens to you. You're just a witness. You know, you're a backseat driver to the events that are unfolding. But Final Fantasy isn't something that happens to you. It's also something that you happen to it. You happen to it as well. And I feel like 15 did a lot of that, maybe too much. And it's just that equilibrium. So there we go, guys. That's the best I could do for being a booby, for signing in. When the freaking server was on maintenance. I feel so foolish. So I'm going to go away and finish editing this. How many slides have I created so far? 89. 89 slides. All right. And I think I've got another 5-ish, 10-ish minutes to do on it. So I'll just spend the rest of my morning doing this. And then we will be back on later with Kingdom Hearts Marathon. Yes. Alright guys, catch you later. Oh my gosh, Kaylee. Absolute gem. Thank you so much. And she red tipped me yesterday. Hot diggity dang. I feel so blessed. Thank you, mate. Thank you, Patrick, Vale, Esther. See you later, guys. Thank you for signing in anyway. So looking forward to doing Heaven's Ward. Now I know why I woke up. Heaven's Ward! Because it was in maintenance and it was away from my grasp. There was definitely a panic in it. Yo, bro, I'm smoking up right now. Keep talking, man. Okay, liquid swords, tacos, burritos, fajitas, Twinkies, chocolate eclairs, Black Forest Gatto pudding, bacon, sausages, eggs, what other foods are in there in the world? Falafel. Oh no one high as shit wants falafel. Have a good one, Blazing, man. Catch you later, guys. Did I check the Stormblood? It's activated. No, I need to do that, actually. I need to hit the Mog Station up. Yes. Okay, Alice, have a good one, mate. See you later, guys. until the next live stream. Well, hopefully it will actually be a live stream. Keep home.